welcome back to another video. Today we're at Healey Dell near Rochdale, and we're looking for an old mill, a station, viaduct and a World War II ammunition factory. So come with us as we explore the area. Broadley Mill was built on a small stream rather than a larger, more powerful river. Its build date is a little uncertain, and it's thought it was built no later than 1818. The mill was made up of 4 buildings. One was up to 4 stories high, and also one was an engine house. Due to its location of being built on a small stream, it's thought it was the reason why it abandoned water power in favour of steam. This looks like it would have been an old mill pond. Originally, power was provided to the mill by damming the stream, which created the lodge, which we have just seen. The water wheel is thought to have been sited more or less centre of the mill complex. It says private, no fishing. This looks like it would have been a mill pond that fed the mill. It would have stored the water here, and it would have gone down this sluice into the mill. It would have fed it down there, wouldn't it? Because it went down under the floor. I'm guessing that it's possibly was down under that bridge down there. Yeah, so it would have gone down there, wouldn't it? A bathtub down there. Yeah, steel bath, cast iron bath. I think this was one of the engine beds, that mill engine. Got cutouts in it, bolts stuck out of it. The end of the mill came in 1927 when it went into liquidation. It was completely demolished in 1960. All that remains today are some stone walling and the brick and stone engine beds that we'll take a look at. This was the engine house here. Alright. It looks engine house-ish, doesn't it?
Weaving shed with all the spinning mill.
Right.
Wheel pit. Over there.
That'll be, yeah.
And then what was the stables over there?
Right. So wheel pit was over here, which makes sense because it's water. So that looks like it with wheel pit. So obviously the pond stored the water. The water comes down the weir and comes through the wheel, powers the mill and goes back into the river. The mill chimney was demolished in 1913, and since then most of the buildings have been demolished. Some traces of the old mill can still be seen. So what we're looking at now is what would have been called Broadley Station. I think the platform's still in situ. Yeah, we'll go down there. So we're walking on now to what would have been the track bed. Yeah, I think so. Alright, have a look. So this is Broadley Station. We're still on track bed now, looking towards what we'll go to Rochdale, and we're going to head that way. See what we can see. Broadley Station opened on the 1st of November 1870, and it was opened by the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Company. It closed to passengers permanently on the 14th of December 1949 and completely closed on the 1st of September 1952. The station was situated on the Facet branch and is approximately several hundred yards from the Healey Dell Viaduct, which we'll take a look at in a short while. The station had a single platform on the downside with no clear reason for this. The cutout between the platforms was for the signal box. In 1915, a standard size 4 Lancashire and Yorkshire timber signal box with 16 lever frame was added. This was a few yards north of the station building in the cutout between the platforms. Did you check time for train? Not due yet. Oh, okay. Have a look round it. Well, that's got to be an Herbury at base at waiting room, hasn't it? There's a couple of them, but that one's probably best. So this has got to be footprint at station building. I'll see if I can find some photographs. It wasn't a very big building. Looking at it on the internet. So we're going to walk under that bridge and head down towards Healey Dell. Passengers reach the platform by a flight of steps from the road. We think we might have found part of this still on the wall. I'm not sure whether that could be the base of a signal. There's brackets on the stone wall for it. See if I can find something on the internet might show. The station also had a goods yard with a siding and passing loop, and it also had a 5-ton crane. In World War II, it's thought 4 sidings were added east of the Facet branch to serve the Healy Dell munitions factory. These sidings were removed in 1946 after the closure of the factory. Railway bridge. It's got brick arches. You can see brick arches in it. Yeah, they'll be holding it together, won't they? So we're going to head down towards the viaduct. Right, this is the top of the viaduct. The Gila Del Viaduct is situated in the Spondon Valley. It was built in 1867 by the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Company. Single track. It carried the Rochdale and Baycut Railway over the valley and opened to passengers on the 1st of November 1870. It operated as a passenger line till the 16th of June 1947 when it became a goods-only line, and this closed on the 25th of August 1967. The tracks were lifted a year later. Healey Dell. That's the viaduct. Yeah, that's the viaduct. It crosses road and then crosses the valley. Massive, isn't it? The viaduct is built from local quarry stone. It is 103 feet high with 8 arches with 26 yard span. Its total length is approximately 90 yards.
Well, this would have been all cobbled path down to the mill, wouldn't it? Yeah, there was another mill. Road mill in Thruch. Yeah, there were 2 bridges, but one's gone now because of storm and Boxing Day. Sulphur stores.
The old mill in the Thruch was a fulling mill, built in 1676 and was owned by the Chadwick family. The mill was powered by water. The cloth being made was woolen, not cotton, and to make it wearable they used a process called fulling, which changes the weave. Originally the cloth was soaked in a concoction of water, stale urine, salt wort and fuller's earth. In 1863 the mill changed to steam power, but it was found to be inefficient, so water was the main driving power for the fulling stocks. The Perching Room was the first process of finishing the cloth, and this was carried out in a 2-storey building which straddled the river. It was supported by 3 stone arches. One can be seen today. The mill's water wheel was close to 10 metres in diameter and 1.5 metres in width. It provides 20 horsepower.
We're going to make our way down, a little bit downstream.
Sulphur stoves were used to bleach the cloth. Sulphur dioxide is a poison, and this would have affected the workers, causing them breathing problems.
Right, it's part of another building this, isn't it here? That's massive, that viaduct. It's got skew arches as well. One thing for sure, Victorians knew how to build a viaduct. The old mill race would have gone down to the other mill further downstream. Part of the mechanism for it is actually in the water, someone's pulled it out.
There are 8 30-foot round-headed arches, with 3 being acutely skewed. 3 are over the river and 2 are either side. This is a Grade 2 listed building and was built by Sturgis Meek, who at the time was Civil Chief Engineer for the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway.
That's part of what would have been the sluice. What's out today? Rocks. Wow, that one. Right, this is part of the mill race. We're taking water down to the second mill. We're going to find later. So this is the mill race that would have gone down to the other mill, and it looks like it goes into a tunnel down here. Looks like it drops down there, doesn't it? Oh. Oh, this ain't good. So you've got one on. Perfect name for a video. So it looks like it goes down back into the river here. It also looks like it drops into like a channel.
There are 8 30-foot round-headed arches, with 3 being acutely skewed. 3 are over the river and 2 are either side.
How many clogs have we gone along here?
How many clogs have slipped then, right?
Right. You can see them both here, can't you?
The Siamese bridges, or what are locally known as twin bridges, are 2 single stone arch bridges which stand side by side. One carried the railway slightly higher.
Right, so the first bridge we're looking at is the one that they didn't use, and the one behind it is the one they did. Apparently.
This one, it's in the side,
Yeah, it's not very good, is it? It's it wasn't strong enough apparently.
During construction, the contractors encountered problems with clay, causing the bridges to slightly slide down the hillside. The embankment became unstable, and there was a concern it would fall into the reservoir below. Once it stabilised the slip, a second stone arch bridge was built in place of the first one to carry the railway.
That's the second bridge that we're looking at now. It's quite boggy here. You can understand now why it slips, can't you? Yeah, the same buttresses, and that's probably why that buttress is so long, to try and stop it sliding. We're back on the old railway line again, heading back now towards the station. We've been round the ammunition factory, so we're just going to have a walk along this this old line and see if there's anything left of the old railway. Just spotted this, 14 miles to Manchester Victoria.
The milepost is of standard Lancashire and Yorkshire design and is south of the viaduct on the downside. It marks 14 miles from Manchester Victoria. The post would have been made at the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway concrete factory at Newton Heath.
Why did you only put one on?
Because it's marking boundary, isn't it? boundaries don't like. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of today's video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Till next time, see ya.